So once again, thank you all for joining this particular 5-day online hands-on training program on mixing methods, data analysis with the help of MaxQDA software. So coming to the program, this is the 5 days. As a part of day 1, that is today, we are trying to understand what is mixing method. We are going to have basic understanding of mixing method research. And we are going to differentiate how mixing method is different from quantitative, qualitative, and when to use mixed methods, what are the justifications for using mixed methods, and how one can integrate. In order to integrate both the quantitative and qualitative, are there any different kind of designs within the mixed methods? So as a part of today's session, we are going to have an overview of what is mixed method research. Tomorrow's session, I'm going to give you all a free license as well as those who registered for payment. I'm going to give the license for 60 days. I can say that 65 days. Till 31st March 2026, you can able to get you can utilize the license. Those are registered for the on the payment basis. Otherwise, also, I'm going to share the link with you all. You can use the license for 14 days, free trial version. As a part of tomorrow, first off, I'm going to talk about how to install the MaxQDA software. What is the interface of the MaxQDA? How to go for coding MaxQDA? How to code the data in MaxQDA? Day 3, we are going to talk about thematic analysis, content analysis with the help of MaxQDA software. Day 4, we are going to come up with various data visualization tools. And also talk about on day 3 as well. While talking about thematic analysis, content analysis, I'm going to mix of both visualizations and various good number of features on day 3 and day 4. Day 5, we'll talk about how one can combine both quantitative and qualitative. Some of you might be worried about learning so many softwares like quantitative software, qualitative software. The best part of this particular MaxQDA is that if you can learn MaxQDA software, you can able to handle both quantitative, qualitative. When it comes to the qualitative, not advanced level statistics, at least basic level to medium level statistics, including t-test, ANOVA, correlation, y-square test, reliability test, frequencies, cross-tabulation, charts. Means, as a scholar, what are the statistical part is required that can be conducted with the help of MaxQDA. When you talk about the qualitative, I can say that it's one of the best software in terms of qualitative data analysis, right? So on the day 5, I'll be talking about how one can combine both quantitative, qualitative. I'll also talk about how we can report both qualitative and quantitative findings, how one can integrate quantitative and qualitative data analysis as a part of your research report. So this is what we are going to cover for the next 5 days. I know this is a long weekend, but still you are here, it means I can see that all of you are interested to learn. I'll do my best and I'm ready to learn from you all. Thank you so much for joining once again. Yeah. Now coming to this session, I would like to acknowledge various scholars, starting with John Creswell. As you all, many of you might be knowing, John Creswell is well known for designing mixed methods and is also known for quantitative data analysis, qualitative data analysis, name it any method. He's one of the well-known scholar. And these are some of the books. I'm sure definitely you'll find it in your library. Otherwise also, you can find this particular ebook in library. And I have shared already Google Drive link with those who registered participants. Those who registered by submitting your email ID, all the registration details. I have already shared day one reading materials. I'll be updating time to time the Google Drive link. Please check it every day. Okay. Now, before starting mixing methods, let's try to understand what is research. If you talk with any scholar, they say that research is nothing but systematic investigation of facts. Research is nothing but a systematic procedure which help us to observe, explain, predict, control the phenomena. So it depends on the background that you're coming from. whether it's sociology, social science, social work, management, humanities, name it any discipline. Research, the common definition is that research is nothing but systematic investigation of facts in order to observe, describe, explain, predict, and control the observed phenomena. Now, I always used to discuss the concept of research onion with my students, my PhD scholars, wherever I go. Having knowledge about research onion is going to help us how we are going to conduct your research. And we'll also get the confident whether you are conducting your research in a right manner. Are you able to conduct the research in a systematic manner, step-by-step procedure? If you talk with any PhD scholar, or maybe these scholars, those are in the early stage of their career, if you ask what is your research, what kind of research that you're conducting, they simply say that, sir, I'm conducting survey method, I'm conducting observation method, I'm conducting focus group discussion. They talk about the data collection methods. They don't talk about what exactly research, what kind of knowledge they're contributing on it. So now here the question is, if I want to understand what kind of knowledge that I'm contributing it, I should know what are the different layers. If you look at the research onion, if you look at the onion, it consists of different layers. If you start peeling the layer, you can see one by one after the other, one after the other. Now, having knowledge about research onion is going to help us what kind of research that you're going to conduct, what are the steps one has to fulfill it, are they going step by step in correct manner? Let's take for example here. In this particular layer, there are so many layers. We have around 6 layers we have it. Okay. If I know what is my first philosophy as a researcher, if I know what kind of knowledge that I'm going to contribute, is it based on the objectivity? Is it based on the subjectivity? Now there are different philosophies like positivist approach, interpretivist approach, pragmatistic approach. When I say positivist approach, as a researcher, for me, if I'm able to measure it, if I'm able to quantify it, that is a reality. For me, I can able to generalize my research findings because I'm collecting data from the huge sample. I'm testing some theories. I'm conducting some experiments. But if I talk with a person suffering with breast cancer, she's having different kind of experiences. I'm collecting data from 5 young women, like for example, the women below 35 years or 40 years of age group. But every woman is having different kind of experiences. Being a mother, being a housewife, being a mother-in-law, being a daughter-in-law, being a colleague, being an employee, her experiences are going to be completely different or depend on what kind of interactions, how other people are supporting her, how other people are coping with her. So the kind of interactions she's going to have, that is going to influence what kind of experiences she's going to have. So one philosophy says that, positivist approach says that whatever I'm able to measure it, whatever I'm able to test it, that is a true knowledge. Whereas when it comes to the interpretivist knowledge, interpretivist says that I'm able to experience it. It is completely based on subjectivity. Qualitative research, I can say that interpretivist research is all about subjectivity. I'm not here to generalize my research findings here. Now, if you're going with positivist approach, that is, if I'm going with objective-based reality, I'll go with deductive approach, like testing of theories. Testing of theories. If I go with inductive approach, that is subjective approach, I'll go for qualitative research. I go for qualitative research. Here, I think there is some mistake here. Approaches, one is must be deductive, another must be inductive. Let me put it. If I'm going with the deductive research, I'm going to conduct quantitative study. I'm going to test my theories. I'm going to test my assumptions. If I'm going with interpretivist approach, I'll go for inductive, means I'm conducting qualitative research. So the type of layer that you choose, the upcoming layers are going to be decided, already predetermined. If I go with positivist, I'll go for deductive. If I go for deductive, I'll go for survey, I'll go for experiment. So every step is predetermined as a part of your research strategy that you've gone for it. Now, having knowledge about this particular research onion is going to help me. If I choose positivist, I have to go for deductive. I have to go for quantitative. I have to go for survey or experiment. Then I can go for cross-sectional longitudinal. Then I'll go for what kind of analysis. Is it going to be comparison based? Is it based on relationship based? Is it based on cause effect? If I go with inductive method, I'll decide whether I have to go with phenomenological study, whether I have to go with grounded theory, whether I have to go with ethnography, whether I have to go with case study. So the type of the philosophy, the kind of knowledge that you want to contribute, that is going to decide what are the upcoming layers of your research work. So one after the other, you choose step-by-step procedure and you're going to conduct the research. So there is a difference. As a layman, somebody is conducting research. As a researcher, as an academician, conducting the research. Right? Now, just have a simple understanding about how each research is different from the other. Before going to talk about the slide, let me explain a small research in order to explain the concept of quantitative, qualitative mixed methods. Let me take small case study. As you can see here, there is a case study title, How Boys and Young Men Learn About Menstruation. As a researcher, I just want to know how boys and young men learning about menstruation. Not only from the Indian context, even most of the countries, they don't openly discuss about what is menstruation. Now, the problem is that the person who is not discussing about menstruation, a particular family, you can see that as a man, as a boy, I don't know what is happening to my counterpart, my mother, my father, and my mother, my sister, my wife, my daughter. Now, here I'm missing lack of information. There is lack of information because still there is a lot of stigma is attached with the concept of menstruation. So depends on the person, family to family. You can see that most of the families, they don't talk about menstruation. Now, the problem is not about discussing. The problem is lack of information leads to what? I'm not able to understand what is happening to 50% of the total population, right? Okay, if I'm not understanding what is going to happen, somebody can ask it. If you go to rural areas, as a sister, she knows her brother is going to city, her father is going to city. If she asks, Bhaiya, please buy sanitary pads, her brother, her father can buy. But she can't openly discuss and she can't ask, I need sanitary pads. As a result, what is happening? They started using some unhygienic practices. It leads to skin diseases. It leads to a lot of issues, health issues. It is also going to affect their self-esteem. It is also going to affect their participation in social activities, cultural activities, educational activities. Most of the time, we used to criticize government. Right to education is failure, or right to education is not effective. But how many schools are able to provide proper sanitation facilities? How many schools have special toilets? How many students have, women, adolescents, girls have access to sanitary pads? Right? Now, lack of information creates a lot of consequences which are directly or indirectly going to affect most of the members of the society. Now, this particular researcher wanted to understand what is happening with the menstruation, how boys and men are learning about it. Okay, I got curiosity, I want to understand it. But as a researcher, while looking for the literature, I couldn't find any studies. Why? Because most of the people are not talking about it. Still, there is a lot of stigma is attached to that. And this particular domain is not explored. So as a qualitative researcher, for me, it is a good opportunity to explore. This particular domain is not explored enough, good enough. Okay. So in that case, what we are going to do is, whenever there is gap in sense, as a researcher, you have to find the gap. But when it comes to the qualitative research, you couldn't find much studies or you couldn't find any theories. You couldn't find much literature in this particular domain. So what the researcher did, the researcher started collecting data by conducting interviews, and she approached a couple of candidates and she collected data. She looked at the patterns, similarities and differences, and she developed the theory. As a qualitative researchers, you are developing the data, you are developing the theory from the raw data that you have collected from it. Whenever you find any particular domain is not matured enough, not explored enough, in that case, one can conduct the research. Other than that, if somebody want to explore the lived experiences, we are going to conduct a phenomenological study. As a researcher, if you want to understand how denotified tribals are that they're practicing their occupations, what kind of health seeking practices they have it, I'm going to conduct ethnography. I just want to understand what are the motivational factors influencing entrepreneurs to launch their own ventures. I'm just going to conduct case study. If you want to understand how, as a person with suffering with breast cancer, coping with this particular phenomena, I want to understand the process of coping with breast cancer, I'm going to conduct grounded theory. So there are different methods within the qualitative research we have. But the main purpose of the qualitative research is explore human behavior, understand the entire context as a whole. As a part of the qualitative research, you're not going to deal with variables like like comparison, relationship, association. Your main objective is to discover the knowledge. Your main objective is to develop the theory, okay, to understand entire context as a whole. Now, what about qualitative research? We discussed right now. What about quantitative research? This particular study is published recently in the year 2025, I think in the month of June. Title of the study is Women's Attitude Towards Physical Intimate Partner Violence in India, Trends, Patterns, and Determinants. Now, there are so many thousands of studies are there available. If you look at physical intimate partner violence, I can see there are many of our colleagues, those are coming from law background or interdisciplinary background down here. I'm sure you might have discovered so many studies on physical intimate partner violence in India. This particular scholar conducted a study by using two theories. One is resource dependency theory. Second one is social learning theory. One is resource dependency theory. Second one is social learning theory. What social learning theory is saying? Social learning theory says that as a woman, I witnessed in my family, my father is beating my mother. I witnessed my uncle was beating my sister, my mother, my auntie. I have seen nearby locations. I have seen everywhere. I experienced it. And they're able to tolerate it. They're accepted it. So I just want to imitate. I just learned it. I have seen this kind of experiences in my family. Right? I just thought, I just want to follow because I'm thinking about what is going to happen, my children's. So social learning theory says that the people, those who experience violence in their family, they think that is exists common phenomena, and we can't raise our voice against my husband or our head of the family. Whereas when it comes to resource dependency theory says that the women, those are independent, the women, those are confident on their skills, their talents. The women, those who think that why I have to tolerate if my husband is beating me unnecessarily? Why I can't raise my voice? As a woman, I have certain level of tolerance level. Beyond certain tolerance level, why I need to accept if there is nothing wrong from my end? So resource dependency theory says that the people, those who qualified enough, those have means, those have control over their life, they think that they're thinking that I can able to handle my children's, I can take care of my children's. Why I have to face this particular violence? That is without my mistake. Now, the researcher, by using this particular two theories, they want to test it. It shows that the people, those who experience violence in their family, they have high tolerance level as compared with the women, those who not experience violence in their family. Point number one, another one of the important finding. Second one, the women, those are independent, those are able to fulfill their needs. They are completely started raising their voice. They are talking about what is right, what is correct, and they want to take decision making power equally. They want to tell beyond certain level what is right, what is correct, and something is going beyond certain level. They started taking divorce. They started fighting against it. Now, this particular research talks about I have some already existing theories, existing literature. I just want to see with the current generation or with current geography or particular age group. I just want to test it. I just want to see whether this particular theory can be applied or not. So there is a difference between qualitative research and quantitative research. If you look at here, qualitative research, basically we use in-depth interviews, focus group discussions, case studies. Okay. Whereas when it comes to quantitative, we use surveys, questionnaire, experimental designs, observation, observation checklist, like structured observations. And when it comes to the quantitative, your main objective is to generalize your findings. So we look at the comparisons, you will look at the correlations, you will look at the cause and effect relationship, right? Whereas when it comes to qualitative research, we look for the understanding particular phenomena as a whole. We start looking at particular phenomena as a whole. Now, as a quantitative researcher, I'm happy with what I'm doing. I'm here to test. I'm here to generalize it. I'm here to talk about validity, reliability of my research findings. Whereas when it comes to qualitative research, I'm least concerned with generalizing my research findings because it is completely based on subjective, right? I'll talk about it. What is mixed method? So we have two paradigms. One is positivism. Second one is constructivism. One is single reality. Quantitative research is all about single reality. It is based on generalizing. On the other hand, we have constructivism or interpretivism, where it is subjective. There are multiple realities. Now, as a researcher, if I feel by just using one method, either qualitative or quantitative, if I am not able to justify my research findings, if I am not able to justify my research questions, my research objectives, purpose of my study, I'll combine both quantitative and qualitative methods. There are paradigm wars till 1960s, 1970s. Quantitative is best, qualitative is best. Those who are conducting qualitative research, they don't know how to conduct research. Similarly, same amount of practitioners used to criticize each other. But later on, we started talking about just because you're not able to fulfill by following particular method, you're not able to justify your research questions, research objectives. I just want to take plus from each method and I want to combine it. What is the plus of quantitative? What is the plus of qualitative? When I talk about strength of the quantitative, I can able to generalize it. But what is the weakness? I can only tell number of hours students sitting in the classroom and its impact on their concentration level. The student is sitting in the classroom from 9 to 2 or 9 to 5 or 9 to 3. How much they can able to concentrate, right? Number of hours sitting in your office and its impact on your blood pressure. Number of minutes you are doing meditation, its impact on your quality of life. As a pregnant woman, if you're going for meditation, if you're going for 30 minutes exercise, what kind of delivery process that you're going to have? Is it going to be pre-labor process, complicated labor process, or cesarean? Right? So by using certain variables, combination of certain variables, I'm trying to understand associations, comparisons, relationship. But other than that, I can't explain. I can explain what is happening. I can't explain why it is happening. What is behind these particular numbers? Whereas when it comes to the qualitative, I can explain why it is happening, how it is happening as well. Okay. But only thing is, I can't generalize it. Why I can't generalize it? Because I'm collecting data from small sample. There is a reason I can't able to generalize my research findings of the study. Now, looking at the both plus and minus of the both methods, I'm taking the pragmatic approach, that is combination of both quantitative and qualitative. I'm going to use mixed methods. What is mixed method research? It integrates both approaches, leveraging the generalizability of quantitative data with the contextual depth of qualitative insights for a complete picture of my research work that I'm carrying out. So what is the solution here? We have plus for quantitative, we have minus for quantitative. Similarly, qualitative as well. But combining both, what I can do, I can complement the strengths of both quantitative and qualitative. I can come up with the best ritual data, textual data. I can discover it. I can also talk about validity and reliability of my findings. As I'm going to combine both quantitative and qualitative, I'm going to use more than two methods or more than one method, I can able to look at validation of my findings. One support of qualitative with the quantitative or quantitative with the qualitative. I can strengthen my research findings and I can come up with best suggestions, best recommendations, the kind of work that I'm carrying out. Okay. So far, we have discussed about positivism and interpretive approach like quantitative and qualitative. But when it comes to the philosophy of mixed methods, we have two approaches: pragmatic approach, transformative approach. Here, pragmatic approach, you are rejecting single, like there is a binary, either you have to go with quantitative or qualitative. But when it comes to pragmatic, I'm looking at what really works. I'm conducting research to solve my problems. What is the best solution to solve this particular problem, to study this particular problem? Right? So my purpose of my conducting research is not to showcase in library, not to showcase, of course, at the end of the day, I have to accept it. As an academician, I need to have my own academic performance index. I need to have, as a doctorate, I need to have my own publications. That is there. But if you look at it from the research, completely research point of view, are you able to justify the kind of research, the kind of solution that you want to provide to your research work? So by following pragmatic approach, by combining both quantitative and qualitative, I can able to justify my research questions. When I talk about transformative paradigm, here I'll just take certain frameworks which I want to bring some kind of change. It can be social justice, it can be capability approach, it can be human rights framework, it can be feminist, ecofeminism. Some framework will guide how I should conduct research as a part of this transformative paradigm. So these are the three paradigms we have it. One is positivism, second one is interpretism. When it comes to the third philosophy, we have two options. One is pragmatic approach, second one is transformative paradigm we have. What is mixed method? Mixed method research is a research where we combine both quantitative and qualitative. But how we are going to combine? In which stage you are going to combine? One has to combine in different stages. We have different kind of designs we have it. So I'm going to discuss three prominent research designs as a part of the mixing methods with the help of some case studies. I'm going to discuss three prominent research designs in coming slides. What is the definition? Mixed method research is a methodology for conducting research that involves collecting, analyzing, integrating quantitative research in a single quantitative and qualitative research in a single study. Means if you are using the both combination of qualitative and quantitative, that is known as mixed method research. How we are going to combine, how we are going to integrate, we'll see in coming slides. Okay. What are the reasons for integration? What are the reasons for integrating both quantitative and qualitative research work? First and foremost is triangulation. What is triangulation? As a researcher, if I'm using more than one method, like I'm using quantitative method, I'm using qualitative methods, I just want to support my quantitative findings with the help of qualitative research work. Or it can be vice versa. I want to support my qualitative findings with the help of quantitative work. So in that case, I'm going to have triangulation method that I'm going to use mixed method research. Complementary, seeking elaboration, enhancement, clarification of the results of one method. I want to conduct research on Encyclopedia, but I have my limitations in terms of knowledge because there are no much studies. So what I will do first, I will go with the qualitative research. I'll collect the data from 5 to 10 people. Once we complete that particular research, I have some good amount of findings. By going through the findings of qualitative research, I'm going to develop my quantitative research tool. In that case, I'm going to develop my quantitative research tool. Means using one method to develop the other method. That is also one option, one reason. Initiation, discovering paradox and contradictions that leads to reframing the research. Like for example, investigating why patient satisfaction survey shows high satisfaction. Let's take for example, I'm collecting data from all the faculty members to understand what are the motivational factors influencing to continue in their respective universities, even after 5 years, 10 years. So there are a couple of factors like pay, work culture, leadership style, location of the university. There are so many factors. Right? But I just want to know which factor is influencing. If I'm going to conduct quantitative research, out of 5 factors, I'll understand work culture is one of the most important factor which is influencing. But if I want to explain what work culture is there in the particular respective respondents universities, which leadership is influencing the employees to engage more actively. So if you want to understand the context behind, if you want to explain why it is happening and how it is happening, I'll go with mixed method research. Expansion, seeking to extend the breadth and range of inquiry by using different methods. Let me give a small research study, my own research work. I have conducted research in the year 2007 to 2012 in data and social science. I know this particular slide is not presenting entire my PhD work, but let me explain. I just want to understand what are the educational and social experiences of students with disabilities in higher education institutions. I just want to understand educational and social experiences of students with disabilities in higher education institutions. Now, I collected data from 100 students to understand what type of impairments, what kind of disabilities they have it, what kind of educational experiences they have it, what kind of social experiences they have it, what kind of support services are available in their respective universities. So I collected data from 100 students. Okay. Now I use interview method to collect the data from all the students. Now, interview is the qualitative method. I have used it. Some students say that, of course, as a part of the results, students are not happy with some of the education institutions. Now, if I'm going to use only one method, I'm going to report the students are not happy with the education management, university management. So these are some of the findings. But I want to collect the data from university administration. I just want to understand, as a university, they have awareness about number of students with disabilities are enrolled in their respective universities? Do these particular universities have awareness about what are the UGC schemes are available? Whether these particular universities try to come up with disability cell or enabling cell or equal opportunity cell to cater the needs of students with disabilities? Whether this particular university is thinking that there are only 1 or 2 students, why have to spend 1 lakh rupees, 2 lakh rupees? Why have to spend on barrier-free environment? So I just want to understand from the university management point of view also. As a university, what kind of understanding they have it, what kind of awareness they have it, what are their limitations? So I collected data by using survey method. I collected data from the 50 universities to understand. I also collected data from the teachers. Those are teaching students with visual impaired students. I just want to understand what are their attitudes. I just want to examine the attitudes of the teachers. You know that in school level, we used to have 25 students, 30 students. Teachers used to play not individual attention, at least on average, they can able to understand each and every student. When it comes to the university level, college level, my duty is to, I'll just teach and I'll come back. And I'll also interact with a couple of students. But as compared to school level, you don't pay much attention to the students. Let's take, for example, there are a couple of students with invisible disabilities, like specific learning disability, hearing impairment, speech impairment. Unless students comes and disclose, sir, I have some issues with some kind of disability, some kind of impairment. I need some kind of specific learning needs, or additional resources are required. Unless student comes and disclose, you won't be able to understand that, okay, there are this kind of students we need to provide. As a faculty, I'll start writing on notice board. or I might be start discussing what is there in my slides without telling the concept. Now, the student with visual impairment, they may not be able to understand. So here, I collected data from the students with the disabilities. I collected data from the university management. I collected data from the teachers to examine their attitudes, their perceptions. Further, I also collected data from the peer group members. As a peer group member, what is their understanding about students with disabilities? How far they're able to cooperate, how far they're able to support it. And I also wanted to understand whether the students with disabilities are actively taking part. Are they having a lot of stigma? Are they able to bounce back? Are they able to cope up? How they're able to cope up? So if I want to understand, if I want to come up with the right solution, I can't simply criticize what student based on what students said it. I also want to study what are the limitations universities are having it. What are the limitations faculty members are having it? What are the limitations students peer group members are having it? So I can able to get a holistic picture. I can able to understand from different parameters, different stakeholders, what are the solutions I'm going to give it that will be very fruitful. Instead of studying one branch and coming with 100 suggestions, study the whole system and you can get the best results out of it. Now here, if I apply my research study here, I can see triangulation. I have used different data sources. Like I have used focus group discussion with the peer group members. I have used survey with the university management. I have used semi-structured tool with the teachers. I have used in-depth interview with the students with disabilities. Triangulation one can see from different types of data, different sources of data collection methods, right? Different types of quantitative, qualitative methods. Complementary. Instead of simply relying on what my students with disabilities said, I'm able to get the support from the teachers, support from the peer group members findings, support from university management. I just able to see what students are telling and what university management is telling. I'm able to validate my findings. Coming to development, what I did here, I mentioned that I collected data from teachers. How I got the data from the teachers? Before I should know which are the teachers teaching students with visual impairment. I collected data from the students. I collected from the particular student which are the teachers are studying you, which are the teachers are teaching you. So once we complete the interview method from these students, I collected data about the teachers from my previous study, right? So I used qualitative first year, then quantitative second year. Initiation. So you can able to see that why students are facing problems, what making them suffer a lot. I can able to look at the context. I can able to look at the reasons. I can able to look at the consequences. I can able to expand it by using different methods of it. So one study, I can able to apply all the reasons, but if you have one reason, that is sufficient to go for conducting mixed method research work. Okay. Now, I have mentioned I have discussed about what are the different types of, what are the reasons for using mixed methods. If you look at John Criswell, you'll find a lot of research designs. But if you classify it, we have three types of mixed methods. One is sequential, second one is concurrent, third one is integrated. One is sequential, that is methods occur one after the other. Means either you're going to start with qualitative, then quantitative, or quantitative or qualitative. Sequentially means as a researcher, first you will complete one research. Based on the findings of the study, you'll go for the second research. Let me give you a small example here. Just look at this particular study. I collected data from the 50 social enterprises to understand role of social enterprises in their contribution towards sustainable development goals, role of social enterprises, and their contribution towards achieving sustainable development goals. So what I did, first I collected data from 50 social enterprises with the help of the survey. Now, as a part of this particular survey, I understood that how these particular social enterprises are working on it, like which are the sectors they are working, when they started, what kind of models they are, what kind of different kind of business models they have it, what kind of legal entities they have it, right? Like for profit, not for profit, hybrid organizations, where they are located. Are they working at a local level, regional level, national level, international level? Are they working with goal number 1 to 17? How many social enterprises are dealing with how many sustainable development goals are covered? So it is completely quantitative picture. I'm able to map the social enterprises which are established in Anand, Ahmedabad, Vadodara, Gandhinagar. Okay, collecting data from this many cities. I just want to map the list of the social enterprises and what is their contribution towards achieving sustainable development goals. So it is completely quantitative picture. After collecting data from 50 social enterprises, I'm able to understand how they're performing it. I'm able to decide, okay, I want to collect the data from one social enterprises leading by women, which is working with person with disability. I want to collect the data in the area of waste management. I want to collect the data from the person below 20 years of age group. I want to collect the data from the person who is above 80 years old. So I have certain inclusion, exclusion criteria, or I want to collect the data for every sustainable development goal, one social enterprise, I want to select it. So based on the quantitative findings, after having preliminary understanding of my quantitative findings, I'm able to come up my qualitative study. I'm able to design my qualitative study. Now, at the time of integrating findings, I'm going to combine both quantitative results, qualitative results in a discussion chapter. I'm going to report my findings of the study. So here, number of examples, we can see how one can combine. In this particular example, what I want to say that sequential method occur one after the other, qualitative then quantitative, or qualitative then quantitative. Okay. Whereas when it comes to the concurrent, qualitative, quantitative methods studied it. Like for example, in this particular case, I collected data from students. I collected data from the university management. I collected data from the peer group members in different time, right? So here, qualitative, quantitative methods studied conducted alongside one after the other. Means I collected individually students with disabilities, university management, and peer group members. When it comes to the teachers, I was depending on students with disability findings. That was concurrent. Okay. That was sequential. This is concurrent method. I hope you understood. Sequential means you are using one method. You will complete the data collection, data analysis. Then you start with the second. That is called sequential method. When it comes to the concurrent, you might be using both quantitative, qualitative studies simultaneously in different situations. Now, within sequential, if you look at various research articles, you'll find sequential explanatory research design, sequential exploratory research design. Let me tell you what is the difference. When I say sequential explanatory means I'm using quantitative study first, qualitative second. If I'm using sequential exploratory, in that case, it means I'm doing first qualitative, then quantitative. So that is the difference between sequential explanatory, sequential exploratory. When I say integrated, I'm combining both quantitative and qualitative in the same single research tool. It can be semi-structured interview schedule. It can be questionnaire where I'm going to have both open-ended and closed-ended questions. I'm going to have both quantitative and qualitative in a single research tool that I'm going to have. Okay. So here we have sequential explanatory research design. It means quantitative first, qualitative second. If I say sequential exploratory means qualitative first, quantitative second. Concurrent means I'm collecting data from students with disabilities with one method, university management with another method, right? Both, it can be qualitative, it can be anything. Whereas integrated means combining both open-ended questions and closed-ended questions in a single research tool. Okay. Okay, you are able to combine. You are going to integrate it. But how you are going to integrate your findings? How you are going to integrate the findings again? Connecting the integration happens at the sampling frame. So I can integrate at the time of sampling, like for example, if it is sequential, a survey leads to follow-up interviews. I collected data from 50 social enterprises. I have analyzed 50 social enterprises data, and I'm able to collect the data from the 10 interviews, 15 interviews, or 5 case studies, or 4 case studies. But the case studies information is coming from based on the findings of my first stage. Survey of 400 cancer patients, identify high distress. For example, I collected data. Imagine that I have conducted study on cancer patients. I just want to collect the data from the people, top 10% of the people who are having high stress, and top below who are having less stress. All 400 people belongs to cancer. They are cancer patients. I just want to see those are having high amount of stress level, low amount of stress level. What making these people to experience more stress? And if they have more stress, how they're coping up? The patients belongs to cancer. Those are having less stress. How they're able to cope up? What kind of strategies they are using it? Is it because of their socioeconomic condition? Is it because their family is supporting very well? So what are the factors influencing some people to get more stress, some people to get less stress? So in that case, I'm going to integrate. I'm going to have one, that is can be one justification. Building, just like as I mentioned it, reasons for integration, instrument development. Like as a part of the Menstrupedia, there was no studies on Menstrupedia. So I've gone for first interview. Based on the findings of the interview, I had developed the survey questions. It can be vice versa also. If you look at this particular example, elderly interviews about motivation inform survey question writing. So once we collect the data, I'm sure you might have seen in your family or neighboring families or surroundings, there are parents with dementia problems. So I just want to understand how you are able to cope up with your parents who are having issues with dementia. Okay. So I don't have understanding about it. So I'll collect the data from the people, those are having parents who are affected with the dementia. Then I'll go for survey. It can be vice versa also. Merging, pain score of 8 by 10 compared with the quote. So I'm just combining both quantitative findings and qualitative findings. I'm just using as complementary to support. I'm saying that 80% of the people are happy with this particular leadership style in a particular university. How they're feeling, how they're happy. I just want to get some narratives. I just want to get some textual data from them to support my quantitative findings. Instead of simply saying that 80% of the university faculty members are satisfied with particular head of the university or particular work culture. I just want to know if they're happy, if they're satisfied, what makes them satisfied more. If somebody is not satisfied, what are the factors influencing them? So I can combine both quantitative and qualitative. So it is going to be good complementary in terms of reading my findings. Embedding. Qualitative exist interviews explain dropout reasons. Almost you can see that this one. Control and treatment groups followed by exit interviews. So you can able to see the same almost control and treatment, and you're able to see that why people are getting dropout. Your survey shows that there is high dropout rate among adolescent girls in rural areas. Why there is high dropout rate? and which age group of the adolescents are in which higher education institutions, which schools they have high dropout rate, why we have high dropout rate in particular rural areas, particular age group, particular communities. So that is interviews are going to help us. So in both ways, you can combine qualitative and quantitative. And you have to take the decisions when to integrate, how to integrate it, like how we are going to collect the data. Is it going to be one after the other? If yes, you have equal priority, or we have first quantitative, like 80% of my research is based on quantitative, 20% is qualitative, or 50-50, 50% priority weightage I have given for quantitative, 50% weightage I have given to qualitative. So what is the most dominating factor in your research? So that also one has to decide. It depends on the purpose, it depends on the research objectives that you have it. So while integrating it, are you going to integrate as an integrated method, like a single research tool, or we have both quantitative analysis, qualitative analysis, you're going to interpret, you're going to analyze the data together, or at the time of discussion part or interpretation part, are you going to combine both quantitative and qualitative? So these are some of the situations we have to take the call. You need to decide how you integrate both quantitative and qualitative. And do you have any particular theoretical frameworks, whether you want to test the theories or you want to develop the theories. So the kind of decision that you're going to make, that is going to help you what kind of design that you're going to frame, what kind of final title that you're going to give for your research work. Okay. Another most important confusion that we always face when it comes to the research, we all know that if you're conducting qualitative research, you'll go for non-probability sampling techniques. Like, for example, convenience sampling, purposive sampling, quota sampling. We have certain snowball sampling if you're going for qualitative research. But when it comes to the quantitative research, we have random sampling, stratified sampling, cluster sampling. So what is the difference between quantitative sampling techniques and qualitative sampling techniques? In qualitative sampling, we call it as a non-probability sampling techniques. Means every respondent is not having equal chance of being selected. If there are 100 participants in this program, I'm going to say that for 25 people, I'm going to give the license for 1 year. How I'm going to give? So Dr. Kalpesh is going to give me the list 1 to 100, and he's going to put it in a small hat, or we are going to pick randomly. So in that case, every respondent is having equal chance of being selected. But if I say that, no, my student Arya is here, I'll choose my Arya. I'll choose my colleagues are there, my well-known faculty members are there, I'll choose them. I have some purpose. Like, for example, I want to collect the data from a person suffering with breast cancer, or a person belongs to LGBT community. So if you want to collect the data, if you want to build the knowledge, discover the knowledge about LGBT community, I need to collect the data from the persons belongs to the particular community, because they are the persons experiencing positive environment, negative environment, the kind of positive facilitating factors, hindering factors influencing what kind of mental health, what kind of stigma they are going to have it, what kind of self-esteem they are going to have it. If I want to collect the data from persons suffering with HIV/AIDS, how they're coping up. So the person suffering with HIV/AIDS is the right person, can give me right knowledge, right information. Everybody knows what is happening to person affected with HIV/AIDS. We have some kind of understanding, maybe looking at the news, looking at the movies, reading some books, some novels. But the person who is experiencing that particular phenomena can give you the right information, good amount of knowledge. So you're going to follow certain inclusion, exclusion criteria to select your respondents. So in that case, we'll follow non-probability sampling techniques. Whereas when it comes to the quantitative research, you want to generalize your research findings. You want to have representation from the entire population. And the kind of findings that you're going to come, you want to come up with inferences. You want to come up with the conclusion to the rest of the society, rest of the community. So you'll go with the probability sampling technique. It means every respondent is having equal chance of being selected, right? So now when it comes to the mixed methods, as we are going to combine both quantitative and qualitative, I can see there are a lot of questions are coming. I'm going to end the session within the next 5 to 10 minutes, 5 more minutes. Definitely, I'm going to answer. Please wait for some time, please. Okay. Now, when it comes to the quantitative validation, we have reliability scale, validity scale, like discriminant validity, concurrent validity. When you talk about reliability, we have Cronbach alpha. So there are certain tools are available on what basis you have collected data. We have conducted pilot study, and our test result is like this. Our tool result is like this, and I got the green signal from my doctoral committee members, my expert committee member, our research ethic committee members. So there are some validations. Scale development validation was completely done. So you're able to generalize it. But when it comes to the qualitative research, again, here we have a couple of validation techniques are available, like number checking, peer brief, uh, peer brief discussion, audit trial, triangulation. There are a good number of validation techniques are available even in qualitative. So you're going to combine both complementaries of quantitative and qualitative in a mixed methods. You can come up with good research as a part of it. So before ending this session, if your primary purpose to use qualitative data to explain, interpret, or build an initial quantitative findings, then go with sequential explanatory. Okay. But if your purpose is to get a complete understanding by comparing different but complementary data sets, then you'll go for concurrent. If you want to address particular social issue from particular perspective, like social justice, like feminist perspective, Karl Marx perspective, or any particular framework, if you want to bring some change, if you want to advocate, if you want to talk about advocacy, or if you want to bring change, then you go for transformative perspective. Data timing, it is a sequential. Second one is a concurrent. Third one, it can be anything. It can combine. We have flexibility. Point of integration, primarily during the integration phase, where qualitative findings are used to make sense of quantitative results. Concurrent during integration, after both research have been analyzed separately, and you're going to combine and you're going to come up with the interpretation part. Whereas when it comes to transformative, throughout the entire research process, like starting from question framework, like both open-ended questions and closed-ended questions, we are going to have the same research tool. Key strength provides a powerful, in-depth explanation of statistical trends and unexpected results, produces well-validated and comprehensive findings by corroborating data from multiple angles. Last one, directly links research to real-world impact and gives voice to marginalized population. So I'll talk about rest of the session on the day 5, how we are going to integrate it, how we are going to analyze our findings of the session. Okay. Before going for the question answers, I have a few more things. I request you all please scan this particular QR code again. It will take 5 more minutes. I'll go for question answers, please. With your mobile, you can scan it. I can see the QR code right side. Otherwise, you can open AHA slides and you can type this number. For questions, I have one slide. In the meanwhile, you can type the questions. So triangulations, essential, confusion. Okay, good. This is we have discussed. I just want please take part in this. Kindly take part in this. See the results. Integrated method, exploratory, explanatory, convergent. Okay, next. Please read the question properly before answering, please. Those who are not able to scan, please look at here, right side, left side, ahaslides.com, KTR19. Left side of the screen, you can see ahaslides.com, KTR19. You can join it. Those are not able to scan it. I hope you are able to answer it. Just we are going to get the answers. Look at the result. So this is based on your personal experience, maybe based on my understanding, my explanation. I just went to next question. Thank you. Good. There are people who don't have anything to implement. Okay. So submissions group. So these are some of the things we got it. Thank you all those who participated. Thank you so much. Last few more slides, 2 more slides we have. I hope everybody is participating. We are going to wait for the results. Last 25 seconds. Around 80 people are participating. Thank you so much. Look at the results. Focus group, interviews, experiments, embodied research, sequential design, qualitative, quantitative, experiment surveys, embodied. Good. Now here you can type your questions. Question answers. Okay. I'll take a couple of questions here. Starting with first one. Can we use it for law and legal research and how? Any research, if the purpose of the study is to study both quantitative and qualitative, or if you want to justify research objectives. If there is a scope for both quantitative and qualitative, definitely can use it. Okay, we have given examples. First, you can study, for example, I want to understand implementation of particular legislations. So I'm going to collect the data from huge sample about, like, for example, implementation of Persons with Disability Act 2016. Like, for example, particular right to education or right to employment. After collecting data from 100 people or 200 people or good amount of people, I got the quantitative data, but quantitative data is going to explain only what is happening. It can't explain why it is happening, how it is happening. So the people, those who say that the right to education or Persons with Disability Act is not effective, why it is not effective? So I can get the answers in the form of qualitative data. So I can use the both combination of quantitative and qualitative in legal research. Second question, is sampling techniques be the same for both qualitative and quantitative? think Professor Sachin missed the last 5 minutes or 10 minutes of the session. When it comes to the quantitative data, we have probability sampling techniques, where we are going to have probability sampling techniques like simple random sampling, statistical sampling, cluster sampling. Okay, because here you want to collect the data from the entire sample, or at least representation you want to have it. Whereas when it comes to the qualitative data, we have specific criteria, like you want to collect the data from the particular person who can able to justify, who can able to answer, right, your research questions, right? So in that case, we are going to have purposive sampling, snowball sampling, quota sampling, convenience sampling. So both are completely different. For qualitative, we have non-probability. For quantitative, we have probability sampling technique. Any suggested reading materials, Abhi Sharma? I'm not sure when you have registered for the program. Those who registered today till 4 o'clock, 3:30, 4 o'clock, they already got the Google Drive link for the day one session. I have given the reading material. So again, same question. Abhi Sharma, have it. Iqbal, education challenges of Muslim girl in senior secondary school. Which type of research we have to conduct? I used to tell all my regular participants, faculty members, students, research scholars, don't ask anyone what kind of research method I have to use it. Don't ask any resource person or expert or maybe any faculty, any supervisor, what kind of data collection I have to use it. As a researcher, you know better than you. I don't know what is your area, what kind of problem that you're addressing it. Just giving one line, you can't ask someone, and based on that, if I give something, you cannot simply go ahead with that suggestion, because I don't know what kind of problem that you're trying to address, what are research objectives, what kind of research question that you have it, what kind of research hypothesis that you have it, right? So you are the right person, or maybe you have to give the complete picture about what is your research purpose, what kind of research question that you have it, what kind of research hypothesis that you have. Based on that, you can able to justify, I can able to give the right suggestion to you. Okay, give examples for each type. I don't know who is Professor KK. I have already given the examples in detail. If time permits, I'll get coming days, coming classes, again, we are going to have examples for each type. Okay. How much minimum samples were required? Priya. It depends on the type of the method. If you're going with the quantitative, you should know, if you know your total population size, you can determine your sample size. In case we don't know your total population size, we have certain strategies. We have some published data sampling tables. By using the particular sample tables, one can I go ahead with that. Second one, there is a online calculator. Name of the calculator is Rao South, not myself. Very popular statistician. His name is Rao, Professor Rao. He published an online calculator. I'll be sharing in the WhatsApp group. Maybe you can find it out. This particular tool will be very helpful. How to calculate your sample size. So this is all about quantitative part. But when it comes to the qualitative data and qualitative sample, every method have its own purpose. Like for example, if I'm conducting grounded theory, I'll see whether am I getting saturation in terms of my data, whether I'm able to get new insights, new findings from my data. If I'm not getting, I'll start collecting continuously data. But if I find some time, if I'm not able to get any new insights, new findings from my data, means I have reached saturation. So here, looking at the existing findings, either I'll go with a new research question or I'll stop my research data collection. Okay, so it depends on the type of the method that you have it. You can decide what kind of sampling techniques that you're going to have. Okay, in general, if it is quantitative, probability sampling. If it is qualitative, non-probability sampling techniques. Next one, how to ensure integration of quantitative and qualitative data analysis to maximize insights. I have shown you 4 places, like whether you have primary is quantitative or qualitative first. What is the priority you have it? Second one, in data collection are going to combine, or in data analysis are going to combine, Or in the interpretation part, are you going to combine? Still, if you're not happy with my answer, you need to wait for day 5, okay, where we are going to have hands-on practice. I'm not pronounced Unnati, please. Okay. Next. Can we use all types of qualitative methods? I don't know what kind of research that you carried. I can't answer this question. Next one, sir, how to collect the data in an efficient manner? How to interpret the data into study? How to collect the data in an efficient manner? It depends on whether it's quantitative or qualitative. If it is qualitative, you should have good research. You should have some skills. How you're going to talk with your respondents, how you're going to build the rapport with your respondents, what kind of environment that you're going to create, right? And what kind of probing skills that you have it. That is the most important as a qualitative researcher. If it is a quantitative researcher, as going to design your tool, pre-designed tool, and you're going to go for pilot study, you'll consult with experts, you'll get the content validity, phase validity, a lot of discriminative validity, constructive validity. So there are so many techniques. Depends on the type of the method that you have. Coming to the second question, how to interpret the data into study. If it is qualitative study, I'll go for thematic analysis, content analysis. If I'm using particular qualitative approach, like phenomenological study, I'll go with descriptive phenomenology, interpretive phenomenology. If I'm using grounded theory, I have grounded theory has its own data analysis, right? Discourse analysis, we have it. Case study have within case analysis, cross case analysis, we have it. So this is all about qualitative. When I talk about quantitative data analysis, we have two types of statistics, descriptive statistics, inferential statistics. When I say descriptive statistics, the main objective is to describe, like with the help of measures of central tendency, measures of dispersion. If my objective is to generalize my findings, I'll go with inferential statistics, where I'll go with t-test, ANOVA, correlation, regression, further advanced level statistics like structural equation modeling. So depends on the type of the data that you have, type of research question that you have, you're going to decide what kind of analysis that you're going to carry out. Next one, which software is more beneficial for content analysis? NV, IVO, Max2DA. I use both extensively. I like NV, IVO, I like Max2DA. But in terms of the futures, I suggest you to go with Max2DA. Okay. Both are in trending. They're almost like number one. They're fighting for the number one positions. But I'll give first rank for Max2DA. In terms of number of features, number of ways, it may be data visualization, it may be any type of function. If you look at it, Max2DA is in the number one trending. Okay. How to convert qualitative data into quantitative data? Just wait for day 4 or day 5. Raksha Paliwat, please. Okay, please. Can you share your handwritten notes or some published works on mixing method to understand this clearly? It will be helpful. Ram. Sure, sir. I'm going to share. You can check my Google Drive link. Definitely. Professor Vipul, dear sir, briefly explain what are the techniques of convergence apart from triangulation, and these are different from triangulation. So here we're talking about convergence. If you want to combine, you take the help of both quantitative and qualitative, and you want to see patterns, you want to see similarities, you want to see differences. So what quantitative research said, what qualitative research said, you'll take the help of both each other, and you're going to come up with it. Triangulation is going to help us in terms of validation, but convergence is can be complementary. It is going to expand your knowledge of that you have carry out. Okay. Are you slides based on your own research, sir? If so, what application did you use? I don't know who is this. B. I have used two of my research studies an example. The entire presentation had gone through various review of articles. I don't know you were there from the beginning. Okay. And coming to the second question, what application? Application means, are you talking about which research design I have used it? Which software I have used it? Dr. Tenjin, how to use mixed method approaches in social legal? I have answered earlier, like legal research point of view. What are the sampling methods? I have already answered. We are going to combine both quantitative and qualitative. Loknath, please provide the slides from and inform how to prepare the interactive question answers. I'm going to come up with a new program on use of AI tools in teaching, research, and learning and gamification. Again, JNL is going to conduct this particular program mostly in the month of March month. I conducted a couple of times in different places, so I'll come with this particular program again. In mixed methods, how to know where to switch to which method given the challenges. In mixed method, how to know where to switch. If you know your research objectives, research questions, you will understand for which objective, which kind of method that you're going to use it, how much priority you are going to give it. So it depends on your purpose and research questions and research objectives that you're going to have. Okay. Can we use you can use any in any domain, any subject, mixed methods. Okay. What is content analysis? Just wait for day 3 or day 4. What tool that is a bit of affordable and time coming? If you're talking about quantitative part, if you're going for annual subscription, if your university is going to subscribe, I suggest to go with MaxQDA. But if you want to go with the student license, if you can able to afford 10,000 rupees, 9 to 11,000 rupees, student version, you can go with the NBIVO. Okay. I'm repeating again. If you can convince your university, if your university can buy 5 license, I mean, as a university, you can buy it, go with MaxQDA. But if you want to buy yourself, I suggest to go with NVIVO for 1 year. If you can put your ID card as a student, as a PhD scholar, you can get it within 9 to 11,000 rupees for 1 year subscription. Okay. But the best part is that in this particular program, the participants, those who registered for the program, I'm giving 150 licenses for the first 150 participants. I can able to see there are almost around 110 participants, 125 participants, those who already registered for it. Okay. So if you are interested in, please register for this program. We'll get for till 31st March, you'll get the license for it. Explain more about triangulation method. Whenever you use it, more than 2 methods, 2 data collection techniques, 2 different time periods, 2 different sources, it can be data sources, that is known as triangulation. The main objective of triangulation is to validate your findings. Okay. Which tool you use to show your PhD data on slides? Okay. I used, for the entire presentation, I have used more than 4 or 5 tools. One is Napkin AI. Any faculty member, without going for subscription, you can use Napkin AI with the limitations. But if you can able to afford 1,000 rupees, I think 1,100 rupees, unlimited. If you're a faculty, think of going for monthly subscription. If you're a student, looking at your submissions, like for example, my students are here. If we have submissions and presentations February, March month. So 1 month, if you go for it, that is good enough. Next one, I have used Notebook LM. One of the best learning as a teacher, as a student, as a researcher. It's always best to learn Notebook LM as the best tool. Somebody saying that my voice is breaking. Is it so? Somebody can confirm? Yes, no? Am I audible to all of you? Moshvika, yes. Thank you. Please check your data connection, internet connection. In mixed method, can we use all types of qualitative methods? You can use all types of qualitative methods, but you should have quantitative as also. Otherwise, you cannot call this a mixed methods. So let me take last one or two questions. Okay. If I have 300 sample for quantitative, how to is it decide how to decide qualitative sampling, how much is sufficient? If you have quantitative 300 sample, the purpose of qualitative study is to understand like grounded theory or phenomenology or case study. So you see the you see the richness of the data that you're looking for, right? For example, if I'm going with ethnography, at least I should have minimum 30. There's no standard, like when it comes to the qualitative study, there's no standard saying that this much sample size is right, this much sample size is wrong. Scholars like Criswell, he came with based on his research work, he came with one slide. I'm going to share in the WhatsApp group sometime, tomorrow sometime. There's no something wrong or right when it comes to the qualitative. It's all about how much data that you're able to discover, how much you're able to dig, how much you're able to collect. By using one case study, people are there, those who completed PhD research work. By collecting data from 3 research case studies, they have done good, excellent research work. They got good publications. It's not about, when it comes to the qualitative, it's not about sample. It's all about how much deep you go, how much you explore it. Sakuntala, drug abuse and explanation. Last question, maybe. How is it feasible to adopt purposive sampling methods under quantitative analysis approach in legal research, where the aim is to produce context generalization using this? I didn't understand your question, but with my preliminary understanding, how you're going to adopt purposive sampling. Purposive sampling in quantitative study. How is it feasible to adopt purposive sampling method under quantitative analysis in legal research, where the aim to produce context generalization using descriptive statistics? See, I don't know your stakeholders. If you don't have proper directory or a list of population that is available, in that case, one can go for non-probability sampling techniques. I'm repeating again. If there is a situation where I couldn't find proper directory or list, I don't know what is total population size. Like for example, the study that I mentioned, role of social enterprises and their contribution towards sustainable development. I couldn't find any list of social enterprises that are available. So what I did, I explored all the universities, all the incubation centers. I used snowball sampling, I used purposive sampling. Okay. So by using different data sources, I collected data from 50. So it is not probability sampling technique, but I collected data by using non-probability quantitative data, like descriptive statistics. Okay. So there was one example I can give you here. Is it okay to have different samples, quantitative study and qualitative study? Yes, that's what I mentioned till now. Let me go to the last slide of the presentation. Please scan the QR code. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel if you like the content. And you can give a comment, you can give the feedback, whatever you like it. I request you all, those are interested, they can go for subscribing my YouTube channel. And why I'm showing this QR code, I'm going to upload how to install MaxQDA software. And I'm going to send that particular YouTube link with you all. I'll also cover during the session hours. I'll be covering tomorrow first 10 to 15 minutes how to install MaxQDA. And I'll also try to share YouTube link before coming for tomorrow's session. Those who want to install it in advance, we can do that. Those who paid subscription, by tomorrow 12 o'clock, I'm going to send you the license for the till 31st March. After that, please don't send messages, don't call me again. Till tomorrow 12 o'clock, there are option. Those who want to go for license subscription, okay. Those who want to make for the payment, you can think of it. So let me show you a couple of results. Moshika is my, I can say my student only, like part of GNLU. If I'm not wrong, she's the only one. Thank you, Avantika, Moshika, all the faculty members, research scholars, all the 94 participants. Thanks for taking part. Avantika, thank you so much. Next one, last one. I thank you all. Please give your feedback so that I can see that. Thank you, everyone. Thank you so much. Tomorrow, we don't have this kind of slides. Tomorrow, more of hands-on practice with the data. I request all of you to please join with your laptop or PC. Tomorrow, more than PPT, more than this slides, we are going to deal with the system. We are going to deal with the software. If it's possible, join with your laptop or PC. You can't install MaxQDA in your mobile, and it won't be comfortable also. Those who want to practice, please join with the laptop or PC for tomorrow's session onwards. So with this, I would like to conclude. I would like to thank each one of you for joining it. And before joining tomorrow's session, around 6:30 sometime, please check your Google Drive link. I'll be sharing certain sample data sets. Name of the folder is day 2. Right now, you can see day 1 folder. Tomorrow, you'll find day 2 folder around 6:30 evening time. And please download sample data sets before coming for tomorrow's session. With this, I would like to thank each one of you, and I would like to conclude it.